Hindi ka namon mabatian, ma'am.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
finally. Settings lang ang problem.
Oh.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So we
Good
have,
afternoon, ma'am.
okay, so we have at least 13 students online right now. Hopefully, some more will enter this class. This is not a discussion of your lesson about the module. This is merely on how to read, learn how to read the different graphs, the different visuals, and choosing what appropriate visuals you're going to use when you want to present your result. So I will show you some of the examples later regarding the different way on how to interpret what you have collected during your distribution of your questionnaire and at the same time the interview. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is all of you. Please open your camera first and then we'll take a photo. This is day 2 of our action research, learning about writing a research report in a step-by-step portion. So, please open your cameras. Wala pang iban. Luis, La Chica, Catherine, Miss Carino, Labto, and Harcy, open your camera. John Paul.
Wait, ma. Naka-on siya, ma'am, pero hindi
Signal.
ma-see ang camera.
Okay, let's begin.
Naka-on man ako, ma'am.
Okay, 1, 2, smile. Taste, wait, day 2. So this one is day 2. Another one. 1, 2, 3, smile. Pagwapa-gwapa.
Thank you, ma'am.
Day 2.1. Okay, that's it. Okay, you may close your camera. Don't worry, this will be a step-by-step guide on how to interpret your result. Let's start first by trying to answer the first module, the second module, which is the pre-activity, the warming up. This is very easy. If you can see, wait, I need to check first calendar. Today is January. Okay, subong? 25?
25, ma'am.
Okay. Gin-open ko akong cellphone para makita ko kung kita niyo ang akong video. So I ask you to learn how to write a pie or create a pie using the different information below. Actually, this one is very easy topic. All you need to do is to use the Excel for that. Insert, illustration, smart art, and you need to use a pie. Wala diri pie. There it is. May tiba nga pie. May ibang. Okay, we can use a pie. That is a pie. So it's stated in the information that the comedy is for action is 5. Romance is 6. Another one. Drama is 1. Hindi siya kaya. And sci-fi is 4. Bakit ayaw niya? Okay, so this is an example of a pie. However, if you've noticed, when you use this one, dapat kara makitaan mo kung how much is the portion of each slices of the pie to determine whether the comedy which is bigger and to which is smaller among of the number of movie that is being liked by your friends. So, do you have a sample of these visuals? Can you show me your sample of your visual?
Wala pa, ma'am.
Wala pa kamo kaobra ka. Ragin pa obra ko yung kamo
No.
karakatwag.
Wala pa kami cobra, ma'am.
Diba, ang balko kaninyo, obrahon nyo siya. Pagkatapos kininyo, it-ubra katong module 1. Naman wata ninyo, ginubra.
Sa Canva, kuya ma'am, nag-ubra, ma'am.
May problema ko sa Canva. Ang akon malangya is tanawon ko kung how much you've learned in creating a pie based on the different information that I gave you in the module.
Yes.
And I want you to show me some of the examples that you made. Like for example, in how did you do it? Gusto ko makita sa inubrahan ninyo.
Naka-percentage ang akon, ma'am.
Percentage.
Yep. Kaya
Why
naka-automatic
problema
siya.
kung naka-percentage? Kasi pwede mo siya ma-convert man into percentage. For
Yes, ma'am.
example, insert. Galing ang matabo sina
Ma'am,
mm,
wala kami laptop, ma'am. Hindi kami kaubra sa Excel pala.
why man ako nagambal sa Excel? Pwede man yan mo maobra sa iba nga klase.
Okay, ma'am.
Ayaw niya. Okay, the legend of the title of the chart is, ano ganito? Guide me, what is the title of the chart? Kind's favorite type of movies. Okay. Next. Di ba, tonta ha? Bakit hindi magdugang? Hindi magdugang. Bakit hindi siya magdugang? Kabudlay sa Excel ba? Ang atong ginaubra lang ka. X1 lang ka. What happened? Wait lang, ida kay nabudlayan ako sa bago nga format subong. Let's try. 4, 5, 6, 1, 4, 5, 6, 1, 4. Let's see. Ang loop 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four, five. Bakit ayaw? Ayaw niya, ya. Ano, what happened, man?
Pwede ata siya man sa select data kasi hindi magkita ang percentage, ang
Eh,
portion lang.
ang ginaubra ko gani subong, nag-iba labi ang features sining Excel ho. Dapat may ara siya data labels yan eh. Ang sa data labels niya na dapat naka-subdivide na siya into few portions. Ang problema dati dapat ang nakasulat sini may ara siya nga may ara siya dapat nga Excel format bala nga isulat i-type mo lang ang ano niya mga information then automatic siya diretso sa pi mismo. Subong nalibog ako nga man hindi na siya magdiretso sa pi kay kailangan mo pa mag pangitaan it paraan.
Okay, ma'am.
Amo gani ang bako na nalibog ako nga man hindi siya ya. Na, pares ka raw. Na! Okay, down yun siya. Wisit. Nakita nyo na?
Yes, ma'am.
Muang yun
Yes,
ya.
ma'am.
Kailangan gani type anay. Okay, like for example. Okay, so, amo yung ginamin ko na this one, oh. May gina-encode sa Excel, dahil madiretso sa sapay. Okay, so as you can see, based on the example here, based on the data, dire, in order to create a pie, you can be guided by drawing it or using an Excel if you prefer automatic, like what I did. Lain ako na pag-ubra before sang pie kasi automatic siya before. Subong niya, kailangan mo ano isulat siya sa Excel bago siya mag-create it another pie. So here's an example of the pie that I made from comedy, action, romance, drama, and sci-fi. So, dapat may ara gid ina siya nga legend. Pag inambal na legend, the title chart, and that is type of movies. And then after that, we encode all the information, needed information. So comedy is 4, action is 5, romance is 6, drama is 1, sci-fi is 4. To make it in a percentage form, kaya naka-automatic yun siya first percentage kung gamiton yung Excel. Madali lang ni sa automatic into percentage. Go to calculator kung manual ka mo. Go to calculator. To get the percentage, there's always 100%, right? This one is 4 plus, what is this? Add it, magiging 20 siyang total niya, tanan. Meaning, 20 respondents ang nag-answer sina, tanan. Ay, sorry. Okay, 20 respondents ang nag-answer din that, tanan. How are we going to make sure that that is in percentage form para ikumpara mo diri mismo sa pie na ginubra ninyo? So, ang matabo is 4 divided by 20 close times yun sa code times 100%. So a total of, so this one is 20%. So action is sorry. Bakit 4 akong ginagamit? B1. Okay. Bakit siya B1? B1 is 4. Dili naman, oh, B2 is 5. Dili naman, oh, B3 is 6. Dili naman, oh, B4 is 1. Paano siya B4? Column and row. So that's it. And the last one is B5 is 4. Column and row. Column, row. So 20. 20 for comedy, 20% for comedy. Tangkot percentage para hindi ka mabudla yan. 25% for action, romance for 30, drama for 5%, and 20% for sci-fi. If you can see, in a percentage form, drama is 5%, sci-fi is 20%, comedy is 20%, and action is 25%, and romance is 30%. So this is how you interpret using a chai form, a chai or pie chart. So how do you discuss this? I-move ko, ano yun, Isawa? How do you discuss this? When you are talking about discussion, how do you write this in an essay form? So for example, this table, this chart is figure 1. Figure 1, period, types of movies liked by your friends. Okay, so this is your figure 1. Now, how do you interpret this? You always start by reporting verb. The result or figure 1 shows that, read the table, read the chart, the pie. Figure 1 shows that out of 20 total respondents, comma, 4, close open parentheses, 20%, four with 20% of respondents like comedy. 5 or 25% like romance. 6 or pwede man gamito man ganito or 30% like sa lakon 25 action ganito. Dali naman romance. 1 or 5% like drama. And 4 or 20% like sci-fi. Period. So that will be your discussion of result. If you are using survey questionnaire. So after the discussion of result, you are going to write down your implication. What is an implication? When you are talking about implication, based on your result, this result, what is the meaning of that result? based on your own understanding. This implies, always start with a reporting verb. Don't forget, there is always a reporting verb. What are the reporting verb? Like this. Implies, claim, shows, present, ano pa? Implicate, claim. Oh, there's so many more. Here are some of the examples of reporting verb. There are plenty of reporting verb examples. And that's it. But you need to make sure that you use proper reporting verbs when you are discussing your result. Most of the time, the researcher prefer using shows, claims, suggest, mention, believe or believe, instructed, informed. So those are the most common reporting verbs. So how do you write the implication? This implies that most respondents prefer romance movie, most respondents prefer watching romance movies, followed by comedy and action, comedy, and the least action and comedy. The least liked movies movie is about is drama. So that's how you implies. When you are talking about implies, this is your own opinion about the result. Ginamban yung own opinion, that is your claim as a researcher. Question. Any question? HUMSS? HUMSS? Hello? Hello? Can you hear
Wala na,
me?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any more questions on how to discuss the result and create your own opinion about the result?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Now, so that is how you discuss the result and you create your own opinion. After discussing the result and creating your own opinion, you are going to also to write supporting evidence. At least 2 to 3 related studies. What is 2 to 3 related studies? This is essential, important. This one is important because without the supporting evidences, your result is not valid and reliable. So make sure that you will always support your data with supporting evidences. How do you support your evidences? When you support your evidences, you need to find some uh, related studies connected to the topic that you are researching on. So your topic is types of movies liked by friends. So this is your topic. So your general question is, what are the type of movies most of my friends liked? Okay, so this is your general question. So meaning, all the supporting evidences that you will look for is related to your topics, which is the type of movies liked by your friends or by people. So you go to Google Scholar. Once you are in the Google Scholar, you research about types of movies liked by people. Okay, so movies for teens is related. So you're going to read this, then find who wrote this. You're going to read this and find a claim or a sentence that supports the result that people prefer romance from other types of movies. So for example here, wala man diri preference. Kung budlayan gida. Preference of teens movies. Shopping preference, reading preference, movie preference. brief comparison of the preference of viewing social and non-social movies in typical autistic adolescents. Pwede rin to on perceived functions of movies. Okay, like for example, this. Predicting user preference for movies using Netflix database. Because most Netflix, you can find their different genre when it comes to movie. So you can read the abstract. Once you read the abstract, what do you think is the content of this abstract? For example, online content and service provider deal with problem of providing relevant content on regular basis, especially to sheer volume of data available. This work deals with one such problem, namely that of predicting user preference for movies using Netflix database. Represent memory collaborative filtering algorithm that learns personality traits of user in a feature space. Meaning, may ara silang algorithm para ma-determine kung nano ang preference nila in terms of genre space. This representation allow us to use traditional clustering algorithm. So, similar siya. So, nanong genre? You are going to go to the conclusion portion and you will learn here what genre they prefer. In order to overcome problem of the different length vectors reduce the latent genre space using KID3 make sandali. Since all of the result we obtain substantial that entire Netflix database available for the Netflix price, we have not submitted our result on the website, even though our algorithm performed better and the base compared. After all the model, result dyan. Result. Oh, ari gali. Okay. So here is their result. So their top result is action, drama, and history wars. Based on their prediction. Meaning, according to the result, who is the author of this source? Action, drama, and the history of war. Batra and Goel. Batra and Goel what is the date? Two thousand nine. 2009. Claimed that most of the viewers in Netflix prefers action, historical, and war. Ario, action, historical, and war based on their predicting rating and actual rating. Of the new user of the new user of Netflix database. The result is it is in contrast to the result of Batra and Goe 2019 that claim that most of the viewers prefer war and user based on the Netflix database. Okay. Can you see the answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Even though the supporting evidence, this is just only one example of supporting evidence. Even though the supporting evidence is contradictory to the discussion of the result of the based on the result of this figure, it is okay because not all the time they have the same answer. Number one reason here is this one, the result here is based on your friends. In this supporting evidence here, the result is based on the new user of Netflix. New user of Netflix database. So, it's still contradictory. Iba ang respondents, diri sa gindiscuss mo, iba man ang respondents, diri. Okay. So, to make it more reliable, kasi isa lang siya, ag contradictory siya, you can still add some more evidences, supporting evidences to make it more valid and reliable. So how do you combine this three discussion of result? You write it in a paragraph form. First is this one, followed by okay, so one paragraph. Make sure naka-paragraph form yun siya. And then your supporting evidence should be in the next paragraph. So your title here is okay. So this is how you write your result and discussion. Any question? So I will show you an example of how to write it in your research paper. This is an example of a research. Okay, so this is the pie. And your discussion is this. So that is your result and discussion implication with supporting evidences and your figure. So that's how you interpret when you are using survey questionnaire. Now your turn will be is to answer the different examples of the table I gave you here. Figure 1 shows different examples. You learn how to do that. And how about this one? How are you going to interpret this table? How are you going to interpret also this table? Using the line graph. in connection with the table. You need to follow the pattern like what I did in this example. Now, so that is just only a pre-taste on how to interpret the different charts. We have different examples of charts. As you can see, we have graphs, tables, diagrams, charts, visuals, image, and map. So for example, of the chart, the organizational chart, this is common for experimental research. This one is flow chart. This is more common for those who are taking computer, especially in computer science, computer animation, computer programming. This is the chart that you're going to use to plan out how you're going to write down your different codes. What is the step-by-step process of application of a certain program that you created. Another one is the table. This one is common. This is preferred using those who are taking social sciences kind of researches. And those students who are taking social sciences are the HUMSS, the ABM, and some of the TVL students. So they will always use table. Sometimes they will write the mean scores, sometimes they will write the scores, the total score, or the rank. Another example is the graphs. So this graph can also be used by different researchers, those who are taking experiments, and of course social sciences. So this one is a bar graph. Another example is a line graph. And another example is a pie or a circle graph. Let me remind everybody that you do not need to use all of the different examples of the graph or chart. You need to choose which of those examples is appropriate for your target research. For example, in the case of your classmates, Miss Catherine Omiten, in her action research 1, sige, si Miss Omiten natin gamiton. In her research, she were able to use a questionnaire. So in her questionnaire, this is the questionnaire that she used, 20-item questionnaire. And I asked her to let her at least 20 to 30 respondents to answer this questionnaire. Now, I were able to submit or send to you the example of this. Did you receive this? Did you download?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is an example of an Excel that I made so that it will be easier for you to compute. Hindi yung bala ka mo sinulat-sulat pa sa papel kung paano nyo siya i-compute to get the mean score of each of the respondents. What is the mean score? Pag ginamba mo mean score, what is the overall score of the respondents using the questionnaire? Din siya nabilong. For example, this is your first respondent, second, third, fourth, fifth, until the 30 respondents. And this is statement 1 of your questionnaire. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, until 20 item statements 20, like in this example. So as you can see, may 20 siya ka statement, 1 to 20. Kita nyo man? Okay, 1 to 9, 1 to 20. So, answeran nyo siya by checking each individual statements. Din siya nabilong. For example, I use Facebook. Sometimes, often, always, never. Check which is the appropriate. Okay. So, after that, for example, natapos yun, nagkamot gather some data. They were able to answer. As you can see, nag-automatic na siya. Kaya ginbutangan ko na lagi siya sang code so that you will see the mean score of respondent. So this is the mean score of respondent number 1, 3.6. Nangyari lang dyan, ha? Bakit 4, 5, 3, 2, 1 lang? Kasi ang imo nga statement is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 lang. Ang kay Miss Umiten is privacy, Facebook, and privacy. Do students protect their privacy on Facebook? That is the general question. Now, si respondent 1 has 3.6. Si respondent 2 may mean score nga 3. Respondent 3 may 3.45, 2.9, 2.9, 3.6, 3.7. That is kinda respondent 7. Ubuson tayo lang. Okay, for example, that is the mean of per respondents. You can see here, naka-yellow. Colored ko. That is the mean score of each respondents. Okay, So how are you going to determine the mean score of all 30 respondents? What I did is, brown kayo lang ha, para sa madali ka ninyo. W tapos sum divided by 30 respondents. So 3.29. So the overall mean score of the respondents is 3.29. So how are you going to read this? This is privacy, Facebook, and privacy. This is topic. Question, general question. Okay, the general question is, do students protect their privacy on Facebook? Do students protect their privacy on Facebook? Question mark. Okay, so how are you going to do this? In order to learn how to interpret this and how to discuss this is by creating a scale to know what will be your interpretation. For example, you have 5 statements, 5 criteria, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your questionnaire. So therefore,
Yes.
your questionnaire will be 5. Delete na natin nun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Centered ka. Matiin nyo dyan mayad. So you're going to learn how to discuss this. So when you're discussing this, you need to have a verbal interpretation. Sa mga experimentation, nakaintindi yun kara. This one is your numerical number. And this one will be your scale. What is scale? When you are talking about scale, is to determine the class interval or the interval of these 5 to 1. How are you going to create an interval for that? So this is the way. 5. Sorry. 5 minus 1 is equals 4 divided by 5. So your interval is 8.8. Dapat mayad ka mo ka sa statistics, ha? Especially those who are mastering statistics. So what will be your class interval? You start with 1.0 because this one is 1. Di ba? So 1.0. dash. What will be the next?
8.
1 point?
8.
Are you sure?
Ay, 9. 9.80.
No. 79. 1.80. Kuha niya?
Yes, ma'am.
So, 1.80, di ba ako niyo, i-add ko dyan sa point equals 1 plus point 0.80. 1.8, di ba? And then equals Z14 plus 0.80. 2.6. So therefore, 2.6 equals plus 0.80. 3.4. 3.4. Hindi lang natin tapuson. Plus 3.4 plus 0.80 equals 4.2. Okay, so 4.80 plus 2 point... Ang tabit tayo ba dyan? 2 inches. 59 dash 3.39 dash 4.19. Dapat zero siya. 5.00. Question. So that will be your scale from your numerical 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if your 5 is always, you know, always, often, sometimes, rarely, never. Butanta, always. Always, often, sometimes, sometimes, rarely, never. So this is your description. From your questionnaire. So this is the option 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 from your questionnaire. And this is the scale with class interval, how to determine per mean. For example, this one, 3.6, it belongs to often. Meaning respondent 1 all is using Facebook often. Respondent 2, sometimes. Respondent 3, 3.45, ano siya? 3.45, often. Respondent 4, 2.9, 2.9, sometimes. Okay, example lang on. Now, how are you going to write the verbal interpretation? So, if this is your highest and this is your lowest, You need to learn how to create an adjective to describe what is the meaning of always, of this highest, to the Facebook and privacy. When you are talking about always, meaning the number of frequency, di ba? In terms of privacy. So we are talking about the level of privacy of students in level of Facebook, in using Facebook. Level of or extent. And you're talking about extent, meaning studying siya mag-focus sa privacy. So, my verbal interpretation, extent, in terms of privacy, always. Kamabi, tawin niyo ako ng terminology. Extent of privacy. Give me a term. Kung always siya, ano nga term ang gusto nyo? Mga mas itawag mo siya nga mataas ang iyang security.
Higher, ma'am?
High. Highest. Ano man namin yung term? Highest? Highest privacy?
I'll just move the
Highest privacy, ma'am.
Highest privacy.
Love this.
Now, makonsider na kamo sa amat-amat pa idalom. Magiging high, di ba? Privacy.
You can put on the most socks the fastest.
Medium.
Average lang. You cannot use medium.
Right? There are plenty to go
Okay.
around. Are you?
Poor privacy. Andrea.
Socks are disappearing.
Low privacy.
Get this one on. Things are getting thicker by the second. Any chance these things are extra large? That's 11 socks I just made. And Olivia's not.
Nakuha nyo na? So this is how you're going to read your mean score. So in terms of respondent 1, he is in high when the prioritized when it comes to privacy. However, from the total respondents, the overall respondents with 3.29, the security purposes is average. Sample lang yan So meaning, average lang when it comes to securing privacy, ang kabilugan na 30 respondents. So that's how you discuss using the interpretation. Then you will follow what you did in this one. You're going to discuss like this. And then type it. Here, for example, discuss it result. You're going to create a table for that. There's a table for that. Tatlo lang yan. Respondent. For example, type o ano ba ito? Facebook
And
Privacy. Privacy. Then mean bawah. Then mean. And then verbal interpretation. Now, your Facebook privacy, this one is for statement. Facebook. Extent of FB privacy. Mean score is 3.29. That is table naton. And the verbal interpretation is average privacy. Privacy. So your title is Table 1, period, extent of FB Facebook privacy of grade 11 HUMSS 1 students, period. So that will be your title. So the result and discussion will be like this. Table 1 shows of grade 11 HUMSS 1 students have a mean score of 3.29, which is verbally interpreted as average privacy. Now, you're going to write implication. This implies that the students of grade 11 HUMSS do not, or na naman namin nga term ang gusto nyo, HUMSS. This implies that students, kung amo dyan imong verbal privacy interpretation based on the mean score, nagamit kita table. Nano sa tingin nyo ang implication niya? What is the meaning of this result? What do you think? Wala ka mo kaintindi kung ano yung meaning karat result mo? Table shows that privacy
average.
Implies that hindi ka maggamit ng average. But you use your own understanding. Kung average siya, ano na ibig sabihin ng average? Sudli nyo. Kay kamo manggapon ka ra maobra. Or what? Wala, Ged? Wala, Ged? This implies that the grade 11 HUMSS students do not focus much on Facebook privacy, Facebook privacy, or Facebook privacy and didn't focus much on their privacy, privacy in using Facebook. Ari man mo, may guide man gyapon kamo kay daon sa statement yung gimbutang. Like for example, security policies, personal address, na pwede nyo isulat. Pwede mo sulat some students still share their personal information or share post, post. Tama no, post. Their personal information in their Facebook. And so on and so forth. So that's how you write your discussion for this table. Now, kamo, amo manonobrahon niyo, you're going to write a table or any kind of chart you're going to use. What do you think is appropriate chart, especially those who are using questionnaire? And you're going to write down your result and discussion. That's how you write your result and discussion. Now, may I ask you a question? In comparison with your output in your module 1, when I ask you to write a result and discussion or the discussion of your gathered data, what is the difference between this example to your output? So what is the difference? Ay, gamay na lang kamo, di nang iba. The next one. Wala gid may nagsabat. Miss Laureano. Catherine? Miss
Yes, ma'am.
Laureano. Come on, Daiwa.
Yes,
Give
ma'am.
me your idea between the module 1 and module 2 output that I ask you to gather data. Okay, what is the difference between the interpretation of your gathered data to this example that I showed you?
Ang sa akon nga output and sa interpretation ko sa module 1, ma'am, is siguro ang akon nga wording nakon sa akon nga paragraph or essay is gin-isa-isa ko ang result.
Okay, ginisa-isa mo, meaning
Yes.
too much.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is too much. Ang purpose sang charts, visuals that I presented you in your module 2 is to help the reader easily understand what is your research is all about. Meaning, in your case, kailangan naka-summarize na ina, naka-generalize na ina. Ang madali na siya mabasahan, pagtanaw pa lang niya either sa graphs or tables or chart, pagkakita niya pa lang sa chart, that person already knows how to understand what it means. Tapos ang imo nga result and discussion is just only a very short one in connection with your tables or chart. Nakuha nyo?
Yes, ma'am.
Hindi nyo gid masyado na ipa-detailed when it comes to interpretation of data. So when you are discussing the result, one short paragraph is enough. Okay, so after the result and discussion, of course, you're going to write your implication and your supporting evidences. Always when you are writing your research paper. So this is for those who are taking questionnaire. Now, the next one is those who are using interview. You have, for example, kay Miss... Sino gamiton ta? Kaminoy. Ay, hindi ko siya mabuksan. Mahilig ka mo sa website, no? Okay, confidence and social media. So, sulat ko kay Miss Cristel. Tama? Ay, hindi. Miss Deo pala. Jessa. So, her question is this. The topic is confidence and social media. Confidence in social media. And the general question is, why does social media likes build up youth confidence? Actually, dapat hindi mo na. Ang question niya. What factors build up youth's confidence by clicking like button in social media? Okay. So your question number 1 is this. Kalayuhon pa dyan. Question number 2 is this. Does social media likes help you gain self-confidence? How? Number 3. Number 4. And number 5. Okay, so this is an example of the questions. I-read ko para mas madali. Okay, so what will happen here is the recorded line or the recorded answer of your respondents will be written here. For example, here, you're going to write down all your answers. So this is an example of a thematic analysis. Yun siya. Muna itsura niya da yun, no? Tanan na recorded audio, you're going to write it like this. Transcribe. Once you transcribe, this is line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, line 6, line 7. Santana na answer, Q&A. Question 1, question 2, question 3. So what will happen is like this. Iyan mo na yung itsura niya. Question 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. Kung astadiin kahaba ang sabat niya sa question number 1. It makes sure that each line contains only 20 to 30 words per line. So you have 20 to 30 words per line. So for example, your words is, that's right. And that should be 20 to 30 words, so on and so forth. And then you're going to write this until the last participant I ask you to do. So this is participant 1, this is for participant 2, participant 3, participant 4, so on and so forth. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you have at least 10 participants. And you're going to write all of your answers there. So ano matabo? Nanay tsura niya. It will look like okay, so what will happen is, remember the lines? You're going to group the answers of your participants into based on its similar ideas. For example, here, participant 1 nagsulat sa answer niya dire. Participant 2, participant 3, participant 4, participant 5. Wa pa dyan siya wa pa dyan sa ibabaw nga ra. Utangan ko anit ng ho. For example na. tanan na mga answers ang participants with similar idea, isulat mo siya and igrupo mo siya. You group them based on its similarities. Once you already group them, amo dya itsura niya. Kabayan, yung sa left side, amo ni itsura niya. Ginggrupo siya sa similarities. So, this is the line number of each participant. Amo dya ang similarities nila. Like I said, pwede siya Bisaya. Now, what will happen is, once you already group them according to their similarities, you're going to translate this into English. And based on the language, machuchugi ako, it will become hopelessness. Sa madali nga term. Number 1 is hindi ko masyadong sineselebrate ang Pasko because sa pag-aaksaya ng pera, resignation. Pag-iisip ko ay baka pag once ako makapag-check up, makukulong ako, fear. Obra ka terms or themes. Ang hirap maging positibo, tapos sabi ko dapat talaga hindi na pakita o lumabas ang isang positibo. Despair. So, this group of words, you're able to transform them into this one. Now, these are the codes that you're able to form out of these words. Ning mga Bisaya nga ra. These are the codes. Obraon kong read ang codes, ha? So, these are the codes. Pag inamba mo nga code, ano ang code sining mga statements or lines? Once you already coded them, di ba, grupo mo siya? Grupo mo siya. Pagka-grupo mo ka na, what is the meaning of these 4 words? Hopelessness, resignation, fear, and despair. These are associated words. When you're talking about associated words, you are going to find one word or words that is similar to these 4 codes. Nano ang connection nila nga 4, maka-form ka sang isa ka word. So, if you're able to come up with an idea out of this word hopelessness, resignation, fear, despair, what does it mean? It's all about emotion. Meaning, these 4 codes is all about emotion. And this is what you call, color blue, themes. So, nagubra ka, themes. So, once you created a theme, ang itsura niya, amo na ni sa ang group mo, emotion, hopelessness, resignation, and fear. So, what will happen? It will look like this. Fear, resignation, despair. Now, here is your theme. So this one is your theme. Theme 1. Theme 2. Theme 3. So on and so forth. Kung ano kaduro ang imong theme, wala problema. So you have the codes. This one is your code, the hopelessness, the fear, the resignation, the despair. This one is your lines. Line 1, line, kung ano man na line, basta ang importante lang na term. Paano mo siya mambal na importante? All you need to do is to highlight the important idea you found in your lines. For example, amo lang dyan line nga importante. So, mo lang highlightan mo. So, it is line 7 and 8. So, matabo, you're going to write in your Excel line 7 and 8. So, si participant 1, amo na answer niya. People are being left and not supported by the government. Kunyari lang yan. So, that's line 7 and 8 include. So, meaning kaon, hopelessness. So, it's emotion. So, what will happen? You are going to group them according to, kumbaga, summarize mo na siya. So, this is what it looks like when you already summarized it. These are your codes. Tangan ko sa ibabaw, ha? Insert above. These are your codes. These are your themes. And these are your general theme. What is a general theme? What is a general theme? When you're talking about the general theme, it could be the main idea of the codes and the themes. So, based on this emotion, event, dehumanization, life of others, and these are your codes, what do you think is the general theme? You're going to write down your general theme here. Life of HIV, living with HIV. Period. So that will be your general theme. Okay. So, how are you going to discuss this? How are you going to discuss this? Same pattern you're going to use. Once you already have this table, the next thing that you're going to do is review the themes kung tama ang themes, defining and naming the themes properly, and now it is your turn to report it. So, gin-review mo yun siya, gin-check mo yun siya at mayad, ang themes mo, ang codes mo kung tama, pati ang imong main idea, tama. Once you already check and sure ka na okay na nisa, it's now your time to do the reporting. So how do you report? Same process. When you are doing with quantitative. However, you will only focus on your codes and your themes. So this one will be your first paragraph. This one will be your second paragraph. And the yellow one will be your third paragraph. So same, you still have to start with reporting verbs. The result shows that with HIV have get the main idea, have turning point of life. Period. They experience a lot of emotion, a lot of different emotion, changes in their events of life, and they learned a valuable lesson to their that can what is life for children? Has to offer. First paragraph. Some HIV patient codes, focus on codes, feel hopeless, elaborate, blah, 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 despair, blah, 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 resignation and fear. Blah, 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 blah. Hopeless, despair, resignation, and fear. Paano mo dyan ma-elaborate? Go back to your lines. Pagkakita mo sa lines mo, machuchugi ako, resignation, fear, despair. So, feel hopelessness. They feel hopeless. HIV feel hopeless because they think that the end result of this sickness is death. Period. They feel despair. Ano to despair na dali kagay na? They feel despair because they are isolated from many people. They feel resignation because resignation dire. Masyadong sila celebrate man sa paghahanda because resignation because most of their financial or finances will fall on the treatment rather than celebrating different occasions. And lastly, fear because period. Ano to fear kagay na? Fear is once nakapag-check up ako, makukulong ako. Okay? Fear because they believe that once they go to the clinic or hospital, to the hospital, and have them, their health checked out, they will be put in jail. Period. Justify. Okay, so that is the result and the discussion. First paragraph pa lang on. So you're going to continue with the second paragraph for this one, the color blue, and the third paragraph for this one. Same thing with your case. Now that is how to write the result and discussion. Once you have already written all the result and discussion, for example, that's it. Of course, you're going to write down your implication. This implies, and of course, the result is similar to the study of blah, 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 blah. This is your supporting evidences and your implication. You always need to write your implication. So in this case, your implication focuses of what your opinion about the result. Okay, so that's how you discuss the result of those who are conducting interview or observation. So that's still the pattern on how to write a thematic analysis. This is an example of a thematic analysis. Topic, statement of the problem. What is the topic? Don't worry, I will give you an example of this so that you can be guided on how to write a thematic analysis. Make sure you started with your lines first here before you proceed to your codes and your themes. These are your codes. Utangan ko ha. Code. These are your codes. These are your themes. These are your lines. I will put red para mas madali nyo makita. Okay. That's it. I want you to submit your output immediately this week, especially those who are having difficulty in the interview and the thematic analysis. Okay, so that's it. Google Scholar. Now that's the end of how to do the thematic analysis and how to encode using this one, the Excel, and how to discuss the result, writing implication, and supporting with evidences. I will submit this in your group chat so that you can study thoroughly how to do the interpretation. So let's see. I will send this to you. So here's the code for the participants in the interview, the respondents, and how to interpret. I will also add the thematic analysis, sample of transcript, and how to do the clustering. Study the attached document so that you will know how to discuss in a narrative way your gathered data. We'll also post this in our group attachment. Okay, it's done. It's already posted. So all you need to do is either download all the files that can be found in our Google Classroom for the different examples on how to conduct thematic analysis, how to encode the participants, how to do transcription, how to do the codings and clusterings using thematic analysis, and of course, how to encode also using the questionnaire. So good luck, and I am expecting your answer this week, and we will check your answers. Expect that I will be returning your output with some of your classmates. I asked them to revise their work because it's not following instruction. So that's it for now. Are you still there?
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you open your video? I know it takes a lot of time.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
once a week malang kita anay. Okay. How, sino diri ang nag-interview? Just say yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Sino ang ga-interview?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, si Ramel, si Jessa. Sino pagid? Si Luis. Sino pagid? Rhea. Aba, majority gali ka mo. More on interview. Na-notice ko man na. Kay most of your output, man nakita ko laban interview kasi sa tingin nyo makupos ang interview. Actually, the most difficult one to interpret is interview. Why? Because you need to become very specific when it comes to writing all of their answers, specific answers. Nila copy mo gid siya word for word, bisan ginawa niya kapihon mo gid because it matters in their answers. So as you can see, if you try to compare how to interpret quantitative data or using questionnaire and using interview, mas komplikado ang sa interview kasi may ginapili ka kung sa diin dyan ang importante nga idea na igrupo mo para maka-form ka sang codes mo. And igrupo mo naman siya para maka-form ka sa themes mo bago ka maka-create sang imo nga main idea. Okay. Ang imo lang anay unahan subong 10 malang man ang inyong participants na I ask you to have a 10 participants so at least gamay lang. Ang iban malamang kaon ang mga answer nila, 1 sentence, 2 sentences. Pero mas manami kung very klaro gid ang sentences nila. Accept ka mo bisan Bisaya ang sabat because they can express their ideas in vernacular. Iba kasi ang vernacular nga answer kesa sa English. Kasi kung English sila, which is their second language, limited ang ilang nga i-share nga idea. Pero kung Bisaya ang imo ipa-answer sa iya, siguro maka-expound pa siya sa madamo nga idea. And then in your case, makakapanumdum ka pa sa manami nga codes, ag manami nga themes na connected dito sa mga answers niya. So ang obrahon nyo malang is igrupo-grupo nyo malang ang mga similar ideas. For example, sa question number 1, igrupo-grupo mo lang ang similar ideas ng participant 1 to participant 10. Group them, separate them in one sheet of paper. Sa question number 2, amuman. Sa question number 3, amuman. Sa question number 4, and sa question number 5. So you have 5 separate groups. And after that, igrupo-grupo mo manon siya based sa imo nga themes. I-chop-chop mo gidon siya based sa imo nga themes para maka-formulate ka gidit mayad kung ano main idea sa imo first question, main idea sa imong second question, main idea sa imo third question, ang main idea sa imo fourth and fifth question. So once you already have your main idea from your first question to your fifth question, maka-create ka naman sang whole general idea from all those 5 questions. Maka-create ka sang one general thought. And one general thought is your topic. Dapat connected unsa sa imo nga topic. Nakuha nyo? Kay nag-ubra ka mo general question, di ba? So it should be connected to your general question. So medyo komplikado kita. Now, any question? You have some more question? Yes or no?
Ang sa may ako dali lang ma'am. Sa checking for understanding activity 2 bala ma'am.
Yes.
Atong sa interpretation of data, ang ako nabi dito is ang ginsulat ko nga pag-interpret ko sa data is ga-base lang gid ko sa dito sa table kag sa data. So need pa to siya butangan implication and supporting evidences.
No. Because that is just only mastering how to interpret. Ginatudloan lang kamo kung paano mag-interpret. Pero diri sa inyong last portion, dira yung kamo na time, diri sa pinaka-last bala, sa
Yes,
reinforcement. sa reinforcement activity kasi amo yun yung gidyan, yung ginatudloan ka mo how to write properly the result and discussion in your research report. So meaning, dira ma-focus na kamo mag-write sa inyong implication kag sa inyong supporting evidences. Nanong supporting evidences? Sige, ma-accept lang ako bisan one supporting evidences, but make sure ang inyong supporting evidences is related or similar to your result. Okay kita?
Okay, ma'am.
Na.
Yes,
Pero
ma'am.
make sure dara mangyapon ang result and discussion. Diyang mga other activities malang, for example, ang inyong activities sa evaluating learning and sa inyong activities sa checking of understanding, mastering malang yaon siya how to do the interpretation of data. Para antiguan ka mo mag-discuss ang result sa sari-sari nga mga charts. Antiguan ka mo mag-discuss sa pie chart, antiguan ka mo mag-discuss sa line graph, bar graph, or graphic organizer, any, so that you know how to do it properly. And you know which chart is suitable for your research. Gapili mo lang ka mo, hindi lang na natanan ang inyong gamiton. Mapili mo lang kamo o sa diin ang suitable nga gamiton nga chart para sa inyong nga research. Some more question?
Wala na, ma'am.
Okay, that's it. So, that's it for now. Let's do the... Stop recording na ako, ha?